Hey, what's good? I'm Isaac Lee, and we got another classic tale of one guy's ambitions versus his family's expectations. I'm Isaac Lee. This is The Rundown. So the movie Uncorked, which stars newcomer Mamoudou Athie, Courtney B. Vance, Niecy Nash, is basically about a guy who has this deep interest in being a professional sommelier. That's someone who knows a lot about wine, but he struggles with his family's expectations, in particular his father's expectations for carrying on the business, which he makes mention was started by his grandfather. Fun fact before I start, I was originally going to review The Mauritanian, starring Jodie Foster and Benedict Cumberbatch, but I found out last minute you can only find it in theaters. So after looking through other movies and other streaming services, I came across this movie, Uncorked, and lo and behold, the lead just so happens to be, and you guessed it, Mauritanian. Ain't got good. The story itself centers around a common dilemma that a lot of people face when it comes to trailing their own path as opposed to allowing their family to live vicariously through them. Our lead character Elijah has been recently studying to be a sommelier while working part-time alongside a professional sommelier and being at his family's restaurant. Because Elijah is fully aware of his father's expectations to carry on the family business, he hesitates to let him know what he really wants to do in life, knowing that his acceptance is going to be an uphill climb. The parents, played by Courtney B. Vance from Lovecraft Country and Niecy Nash from Reno 911, they're on extreme opposites of the spectrum when Elijah finally does decide to make his announcement to the family. The mother's point of view leans more towards understanding that as your children grow up, they're constantly looking for that thing that they're good at that motivates and drives them. The mother definitely maintains her position as his number one supporter, despite the fact, and it comes up later in the movie, that Elijah had other ideas that just fell through. His father, on the other hand, is his number one detractor, with his viewpoint leaning more towards the importance of legacy. He mentions on numerous occasions that he saw his father, Elijah's grandfather, build that restaurant from nothing, and that after his father passed it down to him, he would then in turn pass that down to Elijah. And because this particular endeavor is such a detour from tradition, and it seems fancier than just cooking ribs in his family's restaurant, his father looks at this as Elijah believing that he's better or that carrying on the family business is beneath him. This is what ultimately causes a rift between them. And as far as being a sommelier itself, we find out just how difficult it really is just to take the test that certifies you to be a master sommelier at that. We see Elijah having to taste test different wines, having to differentiate between color, age, acidity, place of origin, and various other factors. To better help him study, he joins a group of like-minded individuals, one of which going by the name Harvard, played by Matt McGorry, who you may have seen on How to Get Away with Murder. Personally, my one drawback to the movie is the overabundance of hip-hop. Even when we see Elijah have his opportunity to travel abroad, we're still getting an unnecessarily amount of hip-hop, just in French this time. Just because you have a cast that's predominantly black doesn't mean that one genre needs to be the end-all be-all for conveying a particular emotion or setting a tone. As much as I love a good soundtrack, this just felt a little bit oversaturated in my opinion. Without giving anything away, I love the way Elijah and his father ultimately come to a place of understanding later on in the movie, and how the movie itself leaves a lasting impression about continued pursuit in that goal. And just to reiterate what I said before, this is a common dilemma that a lot of people can connect with, especially, for example, if you're first generation American coming from another country. The movie itself is just slightly over 100 minutes, which isn't that long to tell the story they're trying to get across. And overall, I had a good time. But those are my thoughts. What are yours? And if you like what I had to offer, hit that like and subscribe button at the bottom. I'm Isaac Lee. This is The Rundown.